Urfan Sharif were her father. You, Beinash Batool, were her stepmother. You, Faisal Malik, were her uncle. Sarah's death was the culmination of years of neglect, frequent assaults, and what can only be described as the torture of this small child, mainly, but not entirely, at the hands of you, her father, Urfan Sharif. The degree of cruelty involved is almost inconceivable. Some of the injuries require special mention because they demonstrate the almost unbelievable torture to which Sarah was subjected in the last weeks of her life. The medical experts identified a fracture in the hyoid bone in Sarah's neck. This is a very unusual injury and was the result of very vigorous and energetic manual strangulation, quite possibly on more than one different occasion. Sarah sustained a serious brain injury a few days before she died as the result of a blow to her head. I have no doubt that you, Urfan Sharif, were responsible for these injuries. In addition, she had 2 open burn wounds on her buttocks. These were in the shape of the sole plate of an iron and matched the iron that was found in the house. These wounds had undoubtedly been caused by Sarah's buttocks being pressed for several seconds against the hot plate of the iron, no doubt as a punishment. This would have required 2 people to carry out, one to hold Sarah down and the other to press Sarah against the iron. I am sure that you, Urfan Sharif, and you, Beinash Batool, jointly inflicted this injury. One of the most disturbing features of this whole case is that the burns expert, Dr. Martin, said that this injury was sustained at least 2 weeks and more likely 2 to 6 weeks before death. He said that it would have been very painful. It is absolutely clear that in the last few weeks of her life, Sarah was tied up. She was trussed up with masking tape and with skipping rope. Even worse, she was hooded. Plastic bags were put over her head, which were then held in place with masking tape, and a hole was ripped in the plastic bag through which she could breathe. Sarah's DNA and hair were found on the masking tape and in one of the hoods. This treatment of a 10-year-old child is nothing short of gruesome. It is hard to imagine how terrifying it must have been for Sarah, especially as the treatment was at the hands of her own parents. It gets worse. When the bins at the house were examined after Sarah's death, the police found a soiled nappy wrapped around Sarah's leggings. It is clear that you, Urfan Sharif and Beinash Batool, were putting Sarah in pull-up nappies because she was unable to go to the toilet while she was trussed up. Urfan Sharif, Beinash Batool and Faisal Malik, stand up. Urfan Sharif, for the murder of Sarah Sharif, I sentence you to imprisonment for life. Taking account of all the relevant circumstances and the aggravating mitigating factors that I have set out, the minimum term will be 40 years. Beinash Batool, for the murder of Sarah Sharif, I sentence you to imprisonment for life. Taking account of all the relevant circumstances and the aggravating and mitigating factors that I have set out, the minimum term will be 33 years, less the time that you have spent on remand. For the offence of causing or allowing the death of Sarah Sharif, I sentence you to imprisonment for 16 years, less the time that you have served on remand. You will serve up to 2/3 of your sentence in custody. You will serve the remainder on licence. You must keep to the terms of your licence and commit no further offence, or you will be liable to be recalled, and you may then serve the rest of your sentence in custody. You may take them down.